Hey, back with the cauliflower. We're going to make some mashed potato cauliflower. No potatoes in it, all cauliflower and a few other things we're going to add into it. But I'm going to show how I get the cauliflower cut up in quick time. First though, you want to get a pot going with some water to steam. And I've got the double stack boiler here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this filled up with some water and get it on the stove going. For speed, we don't need a lot of water in there, just enough to get steaming quickly. Set that on the stove on high. In the meantime, go ahead and get this thing cut up. The trick here is to get all these green parts off, the outer layers. This is a fresh cauliflower, so I don't need to cut off any bad spots, thankfully. If you're like me, I often buy cauliflower and I don't use it in time, and I have to end up cutting off bad as it starts to turn dark. So obviously better to use fresh. So obviously cut away from yourself onto a cutting board. At this point I just kind of get the last bit of this core out by working around the stem, and then pop that on out just like that. You can eat these leaves if you want to include them. So at this point, this just starts to really come apart. I cut in a little deeper on the core so that these would break up pretty well. So once you've sectioned it all up like that, I usually cut it into a few smaller pieces so it'll steam and cook faster. This shouldn't take you much time at all. It's a very simple deal here. So once I've split these all up, I'm going to grab the basket for the steamer. So that water is going to be boiling in just a minute or two more here. So you want to just pile it up into the basket.
I need to dump all this garbage in here and just garbage.
So I've got that on the stove, put a lid on it, and watch it. Once it starts boiling and steaming, you can turn the heat down to probably about medium. It's probably going to take about 10 minutes to soften up, maybe a little bit more, so you just want to check it. You want the cauliflower to be soft and cooked through. What I'm going to use next is, you can either use a food processor, but if you really want to get it nice and creamy, I'd recommend a good blender. I like this Ninja because it's got this other piece that really gets it cut up fast for filling this up, and that way you don't have to add too much liquid. So essentially all we're going to do is add some butter and maybe some cream and some salt, and that's about it. I will sometimes put some garlic granules or garlic powder in that. You could cook a few cloves of garlic in there with the cauliflower and throw it in, but cauliflower naturally has that flavor, as we know, so it's pretty good. Once it's salted and you put the butter and everything in there, I could be fooled that I'm not eating mashed potatoes. So anyway, we'll be back in a bit and go over the rest of this.